Hey, what's up? This is Magnus from NEACh. I'm once again here with Besiege. This is part 2. I'm going to be showing off some of the creations I've made as I've gone through the game, which I've been doing secretly while making other videos. The power, the majesty, with 6 wheels and 5 cannons, 2 flamethrowers and a bunch of spikes. This death buggy will kill anything in its tracks. Seriously though, I built this thing ages ago to get through the levels, and it falls apart at the slightest touch. It is good for killing stuff though, so, you know, if we have some little guys and we want them to die, we can torch them to death if they were tall enough. There we go. And, you know, it's fairly maneuverable because it's got a good turning cycle. And it's got cannons. Everyone loves cannons. More wheels! More flamethrowers! Just as many cannons! And covered in armor! The Death Train is a step up from everything, from the Death Buggy. And as you can see, it's got too many blocks for my wee little computer to handle. So the frame rate is just dull. But it is moved like a beast, and it's just as murderous. Owing to the limitations of my computer, I decided to go for something a little bit smaller, a bit more compact, but with just as much power, and something I can use a little bit more like a tank. So I built this thing with a rotating turret, cannon, flamethrowers, and it even moves like a tank. I've assigned the different buttons so I can rotate on the spot, move forward, but as you can see, the camera seems to move, and that's because I assigned it to the wrong buttons. So I fixed a few things with version 2. Let's have a look at that. So this is version 2. I didn't finish doing the armor on this one, and I altered the turret completely so that I can move it up and down and aim at different things further away. Still has the rotating turret, still moves, and it's still assigned to the wrong button so the camera plays up. The final version of the affectionately named Wee Tank is it's pretty good. It's still got the moving turret. I've adjusted it so that it doesn't turn as quickly, and it still turns left and right pretty quickly. But in addition to that, it now has a moving arm, so I can grab things. I've changed the controls for different things. Okay, I've got it. I remember how to control the damn tank. So yeah, the Wii Tank series is nice and complete and moves like a charm. And this time, no messed up camp. Yes. It's got a little grabber on the front for picking stuff up, and still got the flamethrowers, cannons, and the armor keeps it pretty tough as well. Although if it ends up upside down, then yeah. So some later levels seem to indicate that you might be needing to take to the air. So I built my first aircraft. Unfortunately, I didn't think it through very much, and it's kind of hard to control. I have to keep sort of letting go of the button, and it crashes a lot. So let's have a look at its evolution. Version 2, I tried out one of the big propeller pieces, and it doesn't go. It's no. Just no. This next version works quite well, except for the problem that it doesn't fit in the bounding box, so it can only be used in sandbox mode. But it does take off quite nicely, steers reasonably well, doesn't crash all the time. I can't complain about it. So I started again from scratch with this one to try and make something that would fit in the bounding box, which this does. And if I remember correctly, it kind of flies, but this is a very early one. It has absolutely no steering and is basically its own worst nightmare. There is a level that calls for a bomb. This is a bomb. It can fly majestically. But once again, no steering. Yeah. So I decided I'd experiment with vertical takeoff and landing, So this is the version 1 of the VTOL, and yeah, I'll show you. It flies, and supposedly goes left and right, but I'm not very good at it. Let me try it again. So yeah, it does go places. Just very little control. I can steer it left and right, but it's not very effective. So naturally, we move on to a version 2. So the next version has got the bomb included, so I can drop bombs on it. You can load it up by rolling forward, pick up the bomb, and then you can control forwards and backwards using the up and down buttons. And yeah, it goes left and right as well, but it's still kind of tricky to control, so I kept working on it. I decided to go for a smaller version this time, including the cannon, the flamethrower, trying to make it a bit of a jack of all trades. But it doesn't quite work as well as planned. It does, however, fly almost as well as the previous one. Version 4. I tried balloons. I hate balloons. It flies up and then blows itself to smithereens. It's not good. Balloons are awful. Don't use balloons. I hate balloons. This version fits perfectly in the bounding box. I tried to go for a wider frame for more stability. It's got 2 bombs, which you can pick up and drop. So the propellers on either side can be controlled separately. This gives you a bit more control when you're up in the air, in theory. And we've got forward and backward to control forward and backward. So, you can go up, you can go forward, you can go up, you can go left, you can go right, you can control left and right that way. It was a good start. It's a bit flimsy though. Version 6 was a much better step in the right direction. It's a smaller frame, but still kind of wide with stability. It's not outfitted with any bombs, but it does fly up, backwards, forwards, and smashes into the ground beautifully. Finally, version 7. I am quite pleased with version 7. I am still an awful, awful pilot, but version 7, it's got its bombs, it's got forward, back, it's got left and right, it rotates wonderfully in the air. I've got to show you this. This is amazing. I love this. I'm so proud. So, goes up, rotates, rotates. Uh-oh. Well, that, no. Come, no! Goes forward, goes backwards. Ah, no, 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 no. Hey, I think I'm getting better at piloting this thing. Yes. All is well. No, all is not well. I'm still a terrible pilot, but I'm pretty pleased with it. I've been looking at some fantastic videos. People have been creating wonderful things on Besiege. I wanted to build my own catapult, but I wanted to keep it within the bounds of the bounding box so I could use it in levels. This is my catapult. I can turn with it, I can drive the thing about if I need to. I can also fire it! Oh yes! Let's try again for another round. I wonder if I can get that windmill. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pow! Yeah! Okay, so that was part 2 of Besiege. That's my creations so far. And in part 3, I'll be showing you how they run through the levels. Wish me luck.